This is ELFM Online Radio Station Chicago. Dimensión Latina FM Radio TV. Baja nuestra aplicación a través de tu iPhone o Android. Búscanos como Dímela FM. Búscanos en TuneIn Radio como Dimensión Latina FM y visita nuestra página web dimelafm.com.
Save the Children Action Network Summit. Today we have Courtney Mott. She is Senior Director in State and Electoral Campaigns Manager, right?
Yes, yeah,
okay. Nice to meet you.
Yes,
and also, let's talk to our public a little bit about what you are doing with Save the Children and how we are trying to advocate for children.
Yes, fantastic. So Save the Children Action Network, or SCAN, is the 501c4 political advocacy arm of Save the Children. And what we do is we advocate with the public and our elected leaders on issues that are important to us, which includes access to quality early childhood education, preventing child hunger, protecting children at the U.S. southern border, and protecting vulnerable children worldwide.
Yes, and I am very aware of the level of work that you do, and that's why I think it is so important that we continue to emphasize and continue to get more people involved.
Yes.
In our communities, regardless of what state you're in. I'm in the state of Illinois, and I can tell you firsthand that I work with Senator Cristina Pasiones-Sayas, and one of the things she's working on is exactly what you're talking about, even assisting students that are currently going to school so that they don't leave school and they continue with their degree programs. She's trying to get the two-year colleges to continue to give them an education so that they can actually complete their four-year program.
That's great.
Wow. And that's one of the things that she is working on, because she is also an advocate for children and, you know, the child care needs during their formative years.
Yes, it's so important, and I think, you know, right now it's a really critical moment for early childhood education and child care. You know, we're seeing so many people leave the workforce, so anything that helps people become prepared, whether that's access to, you know, a community college or some other type of education, we need all those people that we can get, especially right now, sort of after the pandemic when things have been, you know, especially challenging.
It's been especially challenging because many people during the pandemic lost their jobs.
Yes.
A lot of people were left with, what do we do with our children? And yet everybody's looking to keep trustworthy daycare workers.
Yes.
Yet some of them can't survive because their wages are minimal and they can barely make ends meet, but yet they still, out of love for the profession, as they say, they still continue to care for these children, even though they're overstaffed and overworked.
Yes.
So
yes.
Tell us a little bit about, I know that you guys are working with senators with the, I heard, you know, sending petitions to President Biden.
Yes.
And urging that this all be looked at in a very concise way.
That's right. Yeah, SCAN is working at the state and federal levels to address these issues that you're talking about. We need more investments in the child care industry for exactly those reasons that you said. The workers are it's understaffed, they're underpaid, and they need, living wages so that they can care for children. It's a professional industry, and it really needs to be seen that way.
Right, and the senators that I've been working with speak of that. They really, the state reps as well that I've been working with, they really want to make sure that the children in communities that what people call, people of color or minorities, those are the ones that take a huge brunt of the situation, because many times they're just barely scraping by.
Yeah, and that's right. I mean, the majority of the child care workforce is women of color. So this is absolutely an issue that affects, that's impacted by race, and yeah, absolutely. So we need to see these investments, and we need to be urging our lawmakers at state and federal levels to be prioritizing this issue and making these investments. So we need as many people as possible to be speaking out, whether you're in the industry, a parent, even if you're just a student and you want to get involved, like, please join us. Please join our movement and advocate and urge your lawmakers to invest in this issue.
Definitely, right?
Yeah.
We are working with all the different states. It doesn't, just because we're in Nashville, Tennessee right now, doesn't mean this applies to Tennessee.
That's right.
Just so you know, whoever's listening, whoever's watching this, to know that this is, across the United States. This is across the board in trying to protect all the kids in all the states.
Yes, that's right. We are working across the United States and Tennessee, and a lot of other places as well. So yeah, this issue affects all of us.
It certainly does. And I think the magnitude of the urgency is even worse now because of the pandemic.
Absolutely.
And all these children have suffered, and all that these caretakers have suffered as well.
That's right. Yeah, the pandemic exacerbated an issue that already existed.
Created a bigger issue than what we had in the past. And now we're really trying to say, how can we get back?
Yep.
Right? How can we get back? And one of the things that is the theme here is to vote for our kids. What would you say is something that you can talk on as far as voting for our kids?
Yeah, so some of the things that you should be looking out for on the campaign trail as candidates are having rallies and public forums and debates. Listen to what they're saying about childcare and education, and if
Pay attention.
If they're not saying that what you want them to say, and
Right.
they're not hearing the things that they need, they're not focused on the issues that you're interested in, talk to them. Tell them, hey, this is an issue in my community. They are available, especially while they're running on the campaign trail, and you can have an impact. If you just go to those events, talk to your candidates, make sure they know about the issues, and then vote for the candidates that are good on those issues.
And that have a track record. We cannot go by just words alone. Make sure you're looking at what they bring to the table. I think that is one of the things where sometimes people fall into the trap of voting for people that have no interest in children, nor the families that are truly affected in the community.
Yes, absolutely. If they're an incumbent and they have an official record, they voted a certain way, you can look up that record and you can see how they voted on the issues that you care about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So with this said, I think that with the focus being on really looking at our incumbents and making sure that we are looking at their track record, their history, making sure that we're securing our children, because we know elections, for the next election, we're going to be stuck in a position where we won't be able to move, for years to come if we don't vote for the key people.
Yes, it's important to get out and vote now, when this year, this is an incredibly critical election.
Completely critical.
I think we say that every time it's an election season, but it's true every time. So it's especially important this year to get out and vote, and join, our movement with Save the Children Action Network.
Anything,
exactly.
Wouldn't you say anything that you can send in or donate, whether it's your time. Sometimes we don't have money, but you can donate your time.
Yes, we would love for you to volunteer with us. Our voices are stronger together than they are alone. So please join us. You can join your voice with ours and advocate on these issues.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Courtney, for taking your time out of your busy day. I mean, the summit is going to be intense and very busy, full of activity today, but our children are worth every minute of this time. So please, which website or where can people go to reach the organization?
You can go to SaveTheChildrenActionNetwork.org and you can find information to volunteer in your area there.
Absolutely. Anything else that you want to add? Is there any phone number or anything that you find important?
Yeah, I would just add, it's so important to use your voice in whatever the way that it makes sense to you. There's a lot of different ways that you can advocate, and we can help you do that at SCAN and find the way that works best for you, whether that's writing to your lawmakers, giving them a phone call, showing up at events. There's an option for everyone.
Absolutely, and I can tell you, working with senators myself, the one thing the senators will tell me is, if you don't send them your emails expressing your concerns, if you don't call and leave them a message or do something, everybody has senators in their states. So these are your contact people that get to the congressional hearings and all the stuff that is happening for legislation to take place. So make sure you do reach out, because senators will tell me, you know what, if we're not hearing about it, that means there's no problem. So we need to let them know there is a problem, there's an issue in our communities, and we need help with this or whatever, but reach out to them, don't be afraid. A lot of people feel that they can't get heard. Well, you're not gonna get heard if you don't reach out.
That's right.
So if we have to burn the phone lines by calling and calling every day and making them know, you know what, this is an urgency. This is something very serious that we want heard. Bring it to the next meetings and legislation. So wherever your capital is and wherever your legislators are, make sure you let them know. And they will look at those issues in your community, but not only if you speak up on it.
Yes,
because
that's right.
You know, right?
And keep in mind, your elected leaders, they work for you. They have to care about the issues that you care about.
Yes.
So make sure that you're talking to them.
Thanks
so much, ELSA,
for doing this with me today. And we hope everyone reaches out and we vote for our kids. Thank you.